pick from Wednesday.
I told you. What did I
say? They get in your head, and yeah. Anyway, hey guys, it's Friday.
Oh, thank God.
It's Friday. Amy and Samir here. Hey guys, thank you for joining us, you wonderful people. If you've never watched us before, comment. If you have watched us before, comment. We like comments. Do either one. Samir, happy Friday. How are things going for you?
Oh, pretty well. I didn't realize that it was a 3-day weekend.
Oh yeah, but we'll still be here on Monday.
We will still be here on Monday. And of course, if you are gifted, obviously we can't really go out. Not everybody can go out and do stuff, but maybe plan to donate a little something next Monday while you are relaxing at home.
I'm on Monday having not like a full-on dinner that I normally do, especially since I still don't have my Instagram, so it's like, why even bother doing anything if I can't put it on there? But we're gonna watch Frozen.
Oh my goodness, you.
And do a little
Thank you, Greg.
Disney thing with that. We're doing that Friday night, in addition to Monday night. In addition to Monday's pick, which we will talk about at the end of our segment today.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will. But yeah, we're happy to be here, guys. Yesterday and all the Thursdays this month, we were doing true crime documentaries. Yesterday was our white collar crime documentary, and that was the HBO doc, The Inventor Out for Blood in Silicon Valley, which is the story of Elizabeth Holmes and a company she started called Theranos, and the fiasco that became. In short, seemed like a really good idea, and it still does seem like a really good idea. The problem was the idea just didn't work, and then they lied about it.
Yeah, it's like it's an idea that's like pretty much impossible. It's like it was never going to work, but she doggedly pursued it anyways, and lied the entire time to do it. Like, those big scary eyes, am I not right? And the weird voice, like, people were hypnotized by the combination of those two. I am more repelled by the whole picture of, like the blatant lying and bullying of anybody who tried to point it out. And really, like, they draw a really good connection. They're like, when you're dealing with things that have like really significant effects on human health, like a self-driving car or something like this, like any little thing that goes wrong can be devastating. Mm-hmm. Like, it could be like so bad just with one tiny little thing going wrong. So it's like, that's why there's still not really a self-driving car in the market. Nobody's using them. And that's why this thing is still not on the market, because there's just no way for that to really work in a way that can guarantee the safety that any consumer would need to be able to use it.
Mm-hmm. And this is still going on. If you Google her name and go to the news section, there are recent, like as of this week, stories about this trial. So we still don't really know what the fate of her lies will be, but probably not good. I mean, she had so many people that worked for her, but it was just like the secrecy. I don't know. It really was interesting to see just how far the lies went, how convincing she seemed to be to all of these people. And she was everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Bad boy Andres, but nonetheless, yes, she was nuts, like in a way, because people said like they said that she only slept 4 hours a day. She ate all her meals in the office. She just like was so like used to lying all the time that it was like completely natural to her, so she could do it without any guilt or remorse. And I loved that experiment that the one gentleman who I couldn't tell, he had some sort of severe injury to one half of his
Yeah, I was
face.
trying to figure that out. It's like, did he have half a beard by choice? Or yeah,
It looked either like burn
yeah,
or, I think that must have been what it was. I think must have been
yeah.
something
That's not the point of the
heat
documentary. We
related.
didn't talk about that. Yeah.
But nonetheless, he was pointing out this experiment where, they say like, okay, you'll get the number of dollars that you'll get. Like if you're betting top or bottom, which one do you think is going to be high or whatever? You just pick one of those and stick with it, and then you'll get a dollar for every number or whatever on the bottom. So it's like if you had like 2 on top and the 5 on the bottom, and you said internally you said that you thought that the top would be higher. When they ask you afterwards and you realize that the bottom was higher, then you would say, oh yeah, the bottom. That's what I chose. So that you would get $5 instead of $2. And he's like, so, people, when we put them on a lie detector and we did the same thing, like you could tell when people were lying, like, okay, they knew that they were lying about which one was higher, to get money through lying, basically. So it increases, it's not reading your mind, it's reading your heart rate and all these, and your breathing. So your body reacts a certain way when you're lying. But then when you say, okay, well, no matter what, all the money from the second round is all going to go to a charity of your choice. And then the lie detector just stopped working because nobody felt any guilt whatsoever. So nobody's heart raced. Nobody had to breathe deeper. They were like, oh, well, I'm just giving money to charity, which is a good thing. So I feel no guilt about lying right now. And so it shows that, something good, giving to charity, can, in your mind, help you justify doing something that is wrong, like lying and stealing, which is what they were doing when they lied, basically. So that's like, okay, that explains how someone can be like, oh, I have this idea for this device and I think it's really great. And you can convince yourself that because the goal is so great that anything you do in the service of that goal, whether it be illegal or not, is justified. And then they just go way off the deep end once that clicks in their brain in some way. And I felt like the movie did a pretty good job of revealing that throughout the story.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, I just Googled her name again. I'm just reading these headlines. Like, feds allege Elizabeth Holmes destroyed a SQL database that proved that, her inventions didn't work. Saying that the feds are alleging that she destroyed evidence. How all of this was to fuel this like luxurious lifestyle that she has, which they didn't really talk about in the movie, but maybe she was kind of keeping that a secret as well. I mean, she did things like she wore one outfit so she wouldn't have to think about, wardrobe, even though it's like, can you pick a better outfit than that?
And then, like, at the same time, trying to tell people, like, oh, yeah, she's like, they were like saying, like, oh, like, just like Steve Jobs. And she's like, well, I think it's fair to say that I have been wearing black turtlenecks since I was 7. And they're like, and she's like, Steve Jobs wears jeans. Like, she's like these ridiculous things in her mind that she thinks makes everything like, oh, that's totally different.
This is interesting. I just saw this is on I've never even heard of this website, but this says that there's something called The Dropout. The Dropout is an upcoming American television drama series. And there's part of it that says, okay, in April, wait, I don't know. Anyway,
that's already out.
The thing with Kate McKinnon playing her.
Oh, wait, you mean like an actual series? Because there was a documentary series called...
Wait, here we go. Okay. This coming fall, there's potentially supposed to be a TV version of this popular thing, and Kate McKinnon is supposed to play Elizabeth Holmes.
That was a great choice to play her. I feel like Kate McKinnon's kind of already got like the big eyes and blonde hair.
Yeah, there. Yeah, Kate McKinnon's awesome. So yeah, that'd be something to look forward to. Yeah, but if you didn't get to see this, I mean, this is something that, again, this is still going on. This was such a recent thing that happened. This movie had just come out in 2019. And even like, at the end of the movie, they always state kind of like, well, where are things going now? And this is still going on. So they just left it very vague of like, well, they've been prosecuted and they're saying not guilty, but it's still going on. This is an ongoing thing with everything going on with COVID. I saw it's like her trial. She was supposed to have one in California, and then like a month ago, there was some article that said that that's been postponed because of our rising cases here. So still an ongoing thing. So if you want to keep up on current events, I would check out this documentary.
But it was an interesting watch though, wasn't it? Like just like hearing this particular story broken down, because I loved some of the witnesses basically who were like, oh, I was just a receptionist but she insisted on being part of my interview, and then she's like, I thought it was weird that she just didn't blink. Like,
yeah, they talked about that a lot.
Like bizarre details of this person. Or also her affair with that the older I can't remember where he's from, but he's like obviously South Asian businessman.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny something.
Yeah, it was almost like 20 years older than her.
Yes, and then there was like supposedly some sort of like relationship there.
They're staying in like a condo in Palo Alto, and I don't know. And also that was weird. So you guys are staying in a condo. I mean, that's an extremely expensive area, but like.
Well, maybe she just didn't want the burden of home ownership. She wanted something in a building so she could still sue somebody else if something went wrong. Who knows? But who knows how much time she actually spent there? Because she was constantly talking, just like, oh, I was having lunch with the president of Brazil.
Yeah.
And, like she's talking about this. It's like she's bragging so much. And it's like, every one of these interviews that she hasn't actually accomplished any of the things that she's talking about. Like she's completely lying to everything she's talking about. Oh, and the embarrassing company footage has to be mentioned of people like, dancing to
that's what we're gonna talk about.
And
like all the Silicon Valley like nerds.
Yes, like that whole depiction of that world, like it was just so it's so like heartbreaking to watch in a way, just because you're like, oh, these people really cannot see themselves at all. Like this is not you like being like fun and fancy free, like you're totally carefree and you don't care what anybody thinks. It's like, no, you think that you are like the hottest shit on the planet right now, but like how many of you know that? Like I feel like all those people had to know that this was all built on nothing but lies, because nobody was getting any results. And then they were like, oh, you were going to just take blood normally to use this machine after we've advertised that all we need is this little prick. Like you were just doing your insulin check or something.
Yeah. But she's such an interesting character too, where, like she really did fit in with all of these like genius Silicon Valley people who were just like, yeah, maybe they're incredibly smart, but like so awkward.
But at least some of those people, I mean, half of them probably stole things too, but like the interviews in this documentary always point out like, no, what you want to do is literally just not possible. And like in the world of physics will not allow for the things that you are trying to accomplish to happen. There's literally no realistic chance for this idea to be a reality. But she sold people on to the tune of like $900 million.
Yeah, I mean, and then like the one guy who was like, okay, can we make the device bigger? This is like, no, we can't do that. He's like, it's physically impossible to put all the things you want into this size of a machine. And he said, their attitude is like, well, you don't have the right attitude. Like you need to, like maybe we'll get someone else to do this. You don't have that Silicon Valley attitude.
I was like,
what does that mean?
I mean, I've had my experience of working in a startup, which seemed like it was literally just copying, or just like it was like a startup for dummies book kind of running of a company, and it was just so obviously a scam, that like it was like, okay, and I even found things in their office that was like stuff from competitors that like they were copying verbatim in their company. And I was like, where did this come from? I thought this was a different company. And nobody said anything. They just acted like I said they literally all acted like I had said nothing, as if I had not just asked this question out loud to it's bizarre just how far people will carry a lie for their
Mm-hmm.
own, financial gain.
Yeah, and
It's insane.
that's really the most fascinating thing in all of this. So if you didn't get a chance to see this, this is on HBO Max. Again, this is still an ongoing thing that's going on with Elizabeth Holmes and her failed company and the lies. So give it a watch. Give it a watch.
Yeah.
It is Friday, which is our cult classic Friday, and we picked a movie that honestly I had never even heard of this movie.
Ugh.
I know, but I had first heard of it actually somewhat recently when there's like a board game version of it, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" And it was explained to me that it's also a movie. And I was like, "Oh, I haven't heard of that movie," but the movie in question is Tremors. This came out in 1990, and basic plot of this is natives of a small, isolated town defend themselves against strange underground creatures which are killing them one by one. This stars Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward, and Reba McEntire's in
Yep.
this.
Reba McEntire with the rifle in her hands.
Yeah, I thought this was fun. On IMDb, it says S.S. Wilson said that he got the idea for the film while he was working for the U.S. Navy in the California desert. While resting on a rock, he imagined what it would be like if something underground kept him from getting off the rock. Kevin Bacon said that filming Tremors was the single most fun time he's ever had making a movie in his entire career. This went on to there were a few sequels that were like direct to video type things. There was a TV show for a little bit. There was supposed to be a reboot of that TV show, and that yeah, sorry Donna, yeah, I had never heard of this. I honestly had not heard of this movie. I've heard of most things. Never. I like Kevin
You're
Bacon.
missing out.
But I'm gonna watch it today. So
for the 80s folks, it also has the dad from Family Ties. The dad, I think it's Family Ties, the show that Michael J. Fox first became famous for. But the dad from Family Ties in this movie, I think he plays Reba McEntire's husband, and they're like basically some of those, like, they're not quite nuts, but they are like NRA type folks, like they have a lot of guns, and it comes in real handy when things go really bad with these worms. It's a little sad that they put this image of it on the poster, because for a while in the movie, they kind of tease you with it. Like you don't know what it is. And so that kind of adds to the effect of the movie. But there's just something about this movie that is thoroughly fun and delightful at the same time, that it's got some good scares, and I think the creature effects were good, but you just kind of, I loved all these characters. I love the concept of the story. It just feels inherently ridiculous, but it still has a good horror element that keeps you engaged. Like you're still concerned for these people. Nobody's really super contemptible as far as the main group of characters goes. So you kind of root for everybody to survive. Like it gives you, there's a lot of fun elements for a movie that scares you. And it has just the right amount of camp, I think, in it to make it that as fun as it is.
Apparently this movie, it wasn't that successful in theaters, but once it hit video, it tripled its original box office gross just being on video.
Yeah, see, that's how, I didn't see this in the theater. I saw this. I remember seeing the commercials for it, but it came out on video, like, I think about a year after the theatrical run. And that's when I saw it. Because then it was on, like, the cable channels. And, so I had a lot of access to this movie. And I always thought it was fun. I remember funny more than scary necessarily. But
yeah,
last time I watched it,
comedy.
The scare effects, I think, actually still work because they build it up a little bit before you see the actual monster. And like Andrea says, it's it looks a little bit different when you actually see it. So you'll find out when you watch it, but I think you'll have a good time.
This movie had a $11 million budget. It made over $16 million, so it did make money, but certainly, probably not the blockbuster smash they were expecting a movie like this to get. um, yeah, I don't know. This is a cult that I have not been a part of.
Oh, Andre says he thinks it's a great compliment to Gremlins. I mean, it may have a little bit of that energy, like some real horror moments, but also a lot of humor, tempering the horror throughout. So I still can't believe we've never even heard of it. Don't you like Kevin Bacon?
I do like Kevin Bacon. I don't know how I've missed this one.
For shame, Amy. For shame.
Wrapped up in Footloose. Yeah, but there's there's Tremors 2 Aftershocks, Tremors 3 Back to Perfection, Tremors 4 The Legend Begins, Tremors 5 Bloodlines, that just came out in 2015, Tremors A Cold Day in Hell in 2018. Oh, there was one this year that came out, Tremors, or I keep forgetting it's a new year, Tremors Shrieker Island in 2020.
Ooh, we should watch that one too.
That's what we needed in 2020. A new Tremors.
A new Tremor. I'm totally going to watch it. I think it's on Netflix.
It is. I think a lot of the Tremors sequels are on Netflix. This one is on Stars. So,
I got that too.
Yeah, so if you already have Stars, then you don't have to pay for it. Otherwise, you'll probably have to rent this. Yeah, it's also, turned into a board game.
I know. I've never had the board game though. We never bought that, and I really do want to play it this weekend now. Next Christmas.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot to add to this, just because I hadn't even heard of it before.
I can't believe this, Amy. Well, it is I love this other description. Bert Gummer must save the day when a wealthy playboy unleashes a gigantic carnivorous worm and other monsters on a tropical island. That's the description of the new one that just came out last year, the Shrieker Island one. I'm shocked that they've gone this far with the sequels, to be honest. Because now they just there's a Blu-ray release of it too. You can even get the new one on Blu-ray. Wow. Which of course you could do with this old one. I wish I still had my DVD of this. This is one I did sell because it got shown on cable a lot. It was on TV. Now it's always, I think it's on, it used to be on the Shudder app as well. But this one's like any horror aficionado, I think this is one of their beloved movies that sort of closes out the 80s horror decade. And because I'm not sure how you would categorize, 90s horror was a little bit, a totally different feel. So this is kind of like right in the middle of these two very different eras. Because, in the 90s, we kind of categorize horror almost like, even though Scream came out in 96, we sort of think of 90s horror almost like as more self-reflexive than 80s horror is. And this movie is like I said, it's like a balance of those two. It's very much a transitional piece into...
another interesting fact is that I guess the vast majority of this movie is filmed outdoors. There are only a couple places that they're ever inside, and they filmed this out on Lone Pine Ranch in California, out in the desert. And I guess I've never been to the Lone Pine Film Museum. I really want to go. I think they have a lot of fun. I think my parents went, and they were talking about all the cool things they have, including some things from I think they had things like in Django Unchained, his little wagon with like the big dentist tooth. I think they have that, and things like that. But apparently they have one of these monsters. They have like its head is like part of this museum out there.
Well, there's another reason to go to this museum now. Where is it again?
Worth the trip right there, going out there.
Where is it again?
At Lone Pine.
Where's Lone Pine?
Topical. Elizabeth Olsen claims that Tremors was her favorite movie growing up. Cool.
I forget who. I know that name though. I just can't remember why. I feel bad now.
This new Marvel thing that's on Disney Plus. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's younger sister and much better actress.
Oh.
Yes, the Graboid. That's what they're called.
But where is Lone Pine?
It's east. It's in California. Let me look
Okay.
where it is from, say, San Diego.
What, like Bakersfield area, Yuma?
I think getting closer, but then a little more north. It's in Inyo County, Lone Pine, the other side of California. That's
Wow.
on the Lone Pine Chamber of Commerce.com. All right, let me go to the maps.
I'm like, come on now. Chop, chop.
Yeah, because I know my parents went when they were, I mean, that was a big detour, but they went there on their way back from like dropping me off at Berkeley. Okay, it's north of LA. Okay, you can draw like a triangle between LA, Vegas, and Lone Pine. It's close to Sequoia National Forest. Yeah, so it's a drive. It's close to Mount Whitney. It's very close to Mount Whitney.
So when we plan our trip.
And they have the museum. Here we go. Museum of Western Film History. Temporarily closed.
Oh, well, that's to be expected now, I guess.
Yeah, I want to go there. Oh, they have cool stuff. Wait, oh my God, hold on. They have a photo of the worm thing. Hang on, let me find it.
Ooh, find it.
Hang on, let me upload it. Upload. It looks like it's seen better days, but it's there.
Well, probably has.
We have proof. Sounds like a place where you can out there in Lone Pine.
Latex and who knows what else it was made out of, how many there were.
That is it right there. Right there. That's it.
Wait, what?
It does seem kind of phallic.
Kind of. Just kind of, huh?
Yeah, that's a little terrifying.
No, it kind of just looks like a giant hemorrhoid or something. Like I don't know. It looks kind of like those. It looks a lot different when it's like in the movie. Just trust me. It actually looked like it was in pretty decent condition, though. Oh, it looked like it was holding up.
I only can compare it to the poster.
That doesn't look like it.
I want to go to this museum.
We shall, Amy. When the world reopens, we will go there.
This looks really fun. Oh yeah, my parents went here. Yeah, they definitely have. Yeah, if you just look up the Museum of Western Film History, they have things from Django Unchained. Oh, they've got cool stuff.
See, we'll do this and then Disneyland and then some like.
And they have, yeah, they have recent things too. It looks like they have some things from Iron Man. Oh yeah, Star Wars. They've got Star Wars things.
And this is at the Western. What's it called again?
The Museum of Western Film History.
The Museum of Western Film History.
California.
Lone Pine, California.
Yeah, okay. The list of things we're gonna do.
Yes, we've got a pretty good list, but I think this deserves a spot on that list. Yeah. After you've seen the movie, maybe you'll have even more fun seeing this weird sandworm creature, because this is also the second movie with like some kind of sandworm monster in it, because Beetlejuice was just like 2 years before this or something. And those were not as important as these ones are.
And they were a lot more colorful.
And they were black and white striped, weren't they, or something? Yeah.
Like green and red and
whatever they were different than this. But you know,
I want to
go the sandworm greats.
Yeah, we'll go there. It looks like we could do like a sidetrack, like going to Vegas. We could take a couple-day detour. We can go there, and then Samir and I have Vegas plans.
Yes, we have. I was going to say we start at Disneyland, go to Lone Pine on the way to Vegas. Universal Studios, Disneyland, then Lone Pine, and then Vegas.
Yep.
It'll be a great 3 months.
It will. But please watch Tremors. You have all weekend to watch it. This is again on Stars.
Dune.
And if you want to see the sequels, I believe those are all on Netflix right now.
And that's a lot. That's a lot of viewing. So I would just stick with Tremors number
Don't
one,
overwhelm yourself.
Meg number two, and then rewatch The Merry Widow again.
I
And
can
then
pretty much guarantee I'll only watch this one this weekend. Watch this
come on.
I have other movie plans.
Although this weekend there's also U.S. Figure Skating Championship, so I may be just a little bit busy.
Oh, there we go. And that's going to take up your whole weekend right there. It is Friday, which is our Patreon Appreciation Day. A big shout out to our Patreons, my Aunt Julia, Crystal, Nicole, and Mr. Walter Murray, who is watching with us today. If you want to contribute to future calendars for the month, then you better hop on in and become a screenwriter or hire for this. Yeah, because our calendar's filling up for next month, and we've got some fun things planned. We already know our current Patreons. We already know their picks for next month, and they've been really good ones. But if you're interested in doing that, I would hop onto that. Oh, hey, Andres!
Yay!
But you could join at any time. You could quit at any time. It is a monthly service when you sign up, but you could cancel, at any time. You could be like, hey, I'll be a screenwriter for this month, and maybe the rest of the time I'll just be a day player. Like, we know times are tough, but the tiers start at only $2 a month. Pretty cheap. Put the link over here in the comments. We would really appreciate it, since we otherwise do not get paid to do this. So just think about it.
Say I love you with cash.
Yeah. Cash, always a practical gift.
It is. I mean, it's not quite as personal, but we get to talk every day. That's where the personality comes in.
Yeah, we really appreciate the Patreons that we do have. If you're not a Patreon and you still watch our show every day, we appreciate you too. We appreciate everyone, even just participating and joining in our fun little movie discussion that we have. Monday, we've got something fun planned. For Man Crush Monday, we're going to be talking about Indian actor Shah Rukh Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan.
Shah Rukh Khan, yes, and one of a big Bollywood film from the last 20 years, Devdas. And yeah, it'll be fun.
It will be.
Yeah, we've only done a couple Indian actors, and this is one of them. And yeah, we just try and have variety. And if you like musicals, Monday will be your day. Yes. Again, we know Monday is a holiday, but we'll still be here because it doesn't make a difference to me. I'm home every day. So
that's the new normal, as they say. Can't wait till that changes and people stop saying that. But that's the world of it, the way it is now.
We'll have to be the old normal. So keep wearing your masks and washing your hands and social distancing and all of that. Please watch Tremors. Join us on Monday to discuss it, and then moving on to Monday's topic of Indian actor Shah Rukh Khan. I know I'm going to keep saying that incorrectly.
You'll get there eventually. I
have all weekend to figure it out. Thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll see you on